What's going on, guys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to go over some of the top icons you can get post team of the year, because some prices have dropped and obviously prime moments now are out, so you can get some pretty good icons for a pretty good price. Now we're going to talk about meta icons only, so we're not going to go for the players that are maybe too slow, they can't get played. The first player I want to go over is Piero, a top tier icon just under our budget of 750k. A top tier card, 5-star weak foot and 4-star skill moves. There is maybe a little bit of thing people say the base version is a bit better because it's got better pace, but we'll get on to that in a second. But a top tier card nonetheless, someone that can play that cam role very well. He hasn't got the best balance, but he does feel pretty decent in game. If you stick an engine on him, he could be a perfect card. He can even play as a second striker along someone that's more agile, the likes of Ben Yedder or someone like that, or even someone like Neymar if you can get him in. Just look at his stats now for the base. You can see that if you put a hunter on him, it becomes a good card. Can potentially even play as a striker. 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. He is 5'9", so he's a bit shorter, so the balance won't be offset too much. There is a kind of a thing where people say the base card is better because the base card has better balance and has better sprint speed. So if you can afford the base card, I would definitely say go with it. It pushes the budget a bit higher. But nonetheless, Piero is definitely one of the best cams in the game, best icon cams in the game, and one of the best cards you can get for value. So what about a midfield player? Someone that can do everything, and we have gone with Balak. Now, Balak has actually been a very good card for many years. It's a bit of a sticky one because, you know, when you have like a winger or like a centre back or a left back, pace is very important, but you can always get away with someone that's somewhat clunky in CDM. Now the benefit is with some of these players that if, for example, Balak is 590k under budget, if you find him a bit clunky, you can put an engine on him and that will solve the issue in the midfield area. But if you put a shadow on him, I think that's where he really comes to life. You know, when you're looking at, for example, a cam or a centre mid, having not the best agility balance, it's not the end of the world as long as they can somewhat dribble. Piero is a bit shorter, so it's a bit beneficial. But because this player is more of a centre mid, more of a defensive player, his job is to distribute the ball going forward. He's not going to be really using that much agile dribbling, so it's not that much of a big deal. So he's got amazing short passing, fantastic long shots and shot power, really good defending, really good dribbling, actual base stats, physicality, and he has pace. Basically everything you want. A complete well-rounded player, 4-star, 6'4", high, medium, everything you'd want for a CDM. Someone that would play alongside Kante, this would be a perfect person to play. Someone that can play an attacking centre mid. This is definitely a card to choose. Now, one card I want to talk about is one that doesn't really get their mention. Of course, he won the Champions League final in 2005 for Barcelona, unfortunately, or 2006, should I say. Unfortunately, Arsenal fan, I can confirm that I was crying that day. But Larson definitely came on that day, and he definitely saved the game for them. And I'll be honest, with 2 assists that day, I think he's still one of the best players you can get in the game. Another top tier card. Now, a very underlooked card. Now, he is 4-star, 3-star. That's the only downside. The 3-star skills does let him down. But when you put a hunter on him, he actually becomes one of the best wingers or one of the best strikers you could potentially get in the game if you're looking for a high striker. He's got good jumping, good stamina, so he can play on the wing if you want to. He doesn't have to play centrally. He's got decent short passing, decent curve, good agility and balance. So even though he's 5'10", so he's not too tall. So the good agility and balance means that he'll feel good on the ball. If you want, you can always use engine, and then you can max out agility balance even more if you play him on the wing. But for the price of how much? 500 gold. I'll say about 550k taking into account both consoles. 550k, an absolute bargain. One card that I would say definitely worth doing if you have the money to do so. Definitely play him on the wing. You know, when you have about 500,000, I'll be honest, look, if you have the money, you know I'm going to say to you, of course, go ahead and get Nedved. In my opinion, Nedved is the best card you can get for that price range. But since everyone knows about Nedved already, I thought let me go with some other cards that are also somewhat decent, that are very much underlooked. Another card I want to go over is one that is a goalkeeper. Now, a goalkeeper, to get a good goalkeeper, you need, I'll be honest, height, I would say speed, and Van der Sar really does have that. Now, there's 2 things. You can have Van der Sar or you can have actually Yashin. Now, Yashin is the first card I want to show you. He's actually pretty decent. He's not that bad. He's 6'2". And he's got amazing reactions. Probably one of the best goalkeepers in the game, in my opinion. A very much underlooked goalkeeper. Van der Sar just has these custom animations. I can't really explain it, but he's such a good card, and he's 6'6". The taller the goalkeeper, you can argue the better the reach and the better chance of saving a shot. So I'll definitely go with Van der Sar. If you're looking for a goalkeeper, one that even gets a hyperlink, someone like Virgil van Dijk. If you've got Kleber at centre-back on similar chemistry, Van der Sar is a very, very good player. Now going over to another player, but more of a defensive option. A defensive player that can play even centre-back, that can even play as a right-back, and even play in CDM. And that is going to be Prime Zanetti. Another very much underrated card. Only one thing that really lets him down is that 2-star skill moves. But when are you going to be doing skill moves really with your right-back? Very, very rarely. Unless you got him on overlap and you might want to do like Oketa. But with the 4-star skill moves, high, he's actually a really good card. If you can play him in a CDM role, I think as a defensive CDM, he's a very, very good card. 2-star skill moves, as I mentioned, 4-star weak foot, 5'10", has decent shot power. So in fact, if you really wanted to, you could potentially use a gladiator. Don't forget, outside the box, you don't need finishing, you just need a long shot stat. So technically, in theory, he hasn't got the best of long shots, but he's got decent shot power. So if he's around the edge of the box, maybe coming towards the end, you can still have a shot towards goal. Decent agility and balance. He does like the jumping, but crossing is not really a big thing in my opinion. Even for CDMs when a goalkeeper kicks the ball out, it's another very, very good card. I'd highly recommend him if you can play him as a centre-back. I would actually put him in centre-back. Don't look at his jumping and be like he can't play there, because how many times does your opponent cross against you? Probably very, very little. And if there's a corner, you're going to be moving. If you watch my videos anyway, you should be moving the goalkeeper anyway. So be sure to check out my video tutorials on that. But he's got the aggression, the strength, the stamina as well. So I think another good card. A very much underlooked card. One that very much doesn't get his rating. I think for the price of just 600-700k, he's actually a very good card. Now we're going to go for another striker. One that's got an icon very much recently this year. And that is Fernando Torres. I do think they've actually underestimated his stats, in my opinion. Even in the earlier days, he's much better than I think people make out he was to be. Torres, of course, fantastic card. 4-star, 4-star. I used to always play him in striker when I used to play with Spain. Only person that had the thing above him, if it was a 4-2-3-1, was, of course, Daravia, because of the 5-star weak foot. And probably one of my favourite players in the world. But when you put a hunter on him, or an engine, or a finisher, he becomes a fantastic card. I'm thinking 6'1", you need to ideally put a finisher or engine on him just because you want to get that agility and balance higher. It's not bad if you put it on 81. It's not that bad at all. But if you want to make your players really, really agile, put a finisher on him. And I think 4-star, 4-star, medium high work rate. It's got the perfect work rate. It's got the stamina so you can play on the wing. Decent short pass. Amazing finishing, shot power and positioning. Good agility, good reactions, good dribbling, and good acceleration. Everything you'd want from a striker. Of course, he's 4-star, 4-star. So that means you can, of course, do skill moves. And, of course, you do have that heading presence going forward. Another card that is, of course, very much underlooked. Another card I want to go over is Bergkamp. Again, another card that I think is a bit underrated in FIFA. I don't know about you guys, but I think Bergkamp doesn't really get the credit. Well, I think he should. Well, maybe you can argue his prime moments does. But Bergkamp is a really, really good card. Now, you can actually afford the Prime Bergkamp for only the price of 570k. I think he's a really, really good card. He's very, very cheap. But you need to put a hunter on him. He's 6 foot. But for some reason, if those of you that have used Bergkamp for many, many years, he doesn't really feel that clunky on the ball. Again, to solve that issue, you put an engine on him. Very, very simply. You know, he's probably going to be playing more of a cam as opposed to a striker role. He's 4-star, 4-star. Decent stamina, not the best. You can leave him on stay forward. Amazing finishing, clinical on either foot, I would say. And don't forget, he does have the outside of foot shot trait and the finesse shot trait. So even if you want to shoot on the opposite foot, you still can. So the 4-star weak foot, in theory, gets bumped up a little bit there because you can, of course, use the Travella type shot. Another very, very good card. Play him in cam. I wouldn't play him on the wing. I would just say as a cam role, maybe even as attacking centre mid, maybe even a second striker. But that's one card to look out for. Now going over to some more strikers, I think that's the main thing people really come for. We have gone with a guy who scored a hat-trick on his debut in Spain. I'm pretty sure everyone remembers that game. And also, there's some weird stuff on the pitch. If you guys watched the England match, you probably know what I'm talking about. That is Gary Lineker. Lineker, again, another very much underrated card. Very much too cheap, in my opinion. Too cheap to say no. When you put a hunter on this card, it becomes a very, very good card. Now, you're going to be thinking, okay, why would you want a card that's 4-star, 3-star? Now, well, this is the thing. He's low-high work rates, right? Now, for a winger, for 400k, I think he's very good. And don't forget, you can move him into a centre mid position because he's a striker. And for that coins, you can't really get that much good for 400k. You can maybe get the likes of Stoichkov. Maybe that might be the only thing. But it kind of depends. What do you want? Do you want skills or do you want weak foot? Got good reactions, good agility. When you put a hunter on him, max out his finishing, good short pass. I actually played him in a camp last year and the year before that. I actually bought him very last minute to play him a cam. And he does, because he does that high-low work, which he can play that second striker as well. It's kind of up to you which way you want to go. Stoichkov or Lineker is up to you. Now, Stoichkov, the only downside is you can't afford his prime. So you have to basically go with the left wing version. So you can argue you have to play the left wing version of chemistry. So is Stoichkov a better card? Maybe you can argue in some respects. But if you want him on full chemistry, you're going to have to go for the 87. Is 87 card a good one? Yes, but then you put a hunter on him and you look at the stat difference. It's not that much of a difference in terms of stat difference. So unless you're going for the left wing Stoichkov and you really don't care about the left weak foot, which I think is really, really important, then I would say definitely go ahead and do that. We're going to close it off with one of the most offensive CDMs, another good card, and that is of course Essien. Now unfortunately Essien's prices are a bit crazy. They're not really as they're meant to be. Essien, we're talking about, don't forget, we're talking about the base Essien. We're not talking about the prime, because the mid Essien, the base Essien, sorry, he's got 6+ pace and he's a 1 million coins. If you can afford it, go ahead and get that one. The 90 Essien is 2 million. He's way too expensive, but the sweet spot, I think as a CDM, you put a shadow on him. I think it's not that bad. 3-star, 4-star, high, good sprint speed, good defending, good physicality, extremely good passing, and a decent agility balance. So someone that can do that CDM role. So if you're looking for someone that can play back as a CDM, he's definitely one to go to. Just a few honorable mentions, the ones that I've already gone through in other videos. I'm pretty sure you know about them, but just in case you're new here and you watch my videos, base Seedorf, put a shadow on him, a very, very good attacking, high. The middle one doesn't have high work rate, so this one is the better one, better agility and balance. A fantastic box-to-box sentiment if you're looking for that. If you're looking for a winger or a striker, I would say definitely go with the likes of Nedved. Probably one of the best cards in the game. And I think, you know, I'll be honest, if you don't have him in your team for 400k, I don't know what you're even doing. I play this guy on 7 chemistry on my team because that's how good he is. And I even play the base version, which is even worse than the mid version. The mid version is not the best. Don't look at the prime. The prime, it has less composure, less agility and balance, is not the better one. And the final card I want to go over is Calvaro. Prime Calvaro is, I suppose you can say, the better one in theory. Good agility and balance. But then if you look at the 89, he's too slow. So the 87 is basically the sweet spot, just a bit above budget. But of course, because he's got that sprint speed, I do prefer him +5 sprint speed over the prime card. So base Cannavaro with a shadow, a bit over the budget, but it's definitely one that's worth honorable. They're definitely worth the mention at least. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, I do stream on twitch.tv/NealGuides. Link is down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.